Alright, so it's chilly Thursday night and you've just gotten off work. This has felt like one of the longest days you've faced in recent memory. Even though nothing exceptionally had happened, a ton of minor things just kept going wrong. Sorry, my nose is itchy. And coworkers have tried your patience throughout the day. You consider leaving work early, but you already had enough absences lately on the days you feel too crushed by the job to get out of bed and didn't want to risk it. You're lost in thought. One on the commute home, and you're feeling of frustration both with your life and the world around you build as you run into minor annoyances like someone bumping into you really hard as they walk by. By the time you get home, you're exhausted and remember that these feelings were ones that you identified as a negative feedback loop with your therapist. These pent up feelings aren't dying down and are eating at you. You open your front door and stare at your apartment. An overwhelming feeling of exhaustion overcomes you, and you feel like your energy levels are low enough that you'll likely settle into a single activity tonight. What do? Reach out to someone close to you. Don't burden anyone with your problems. Reach out to someone. It's always better to talk to someone. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink real quick. Alright. Your head feels too noisy and you need to trade it for some actual conversation. Your therapist did say that it was important to reach out to your support network, so you might as well give it a shot. Who do you call? Alex, she's your girlfriend. Malcolm, he's family and fun to talk to. You don't want fun because then you can get caught up into talking to someone about something else and completely lose track of what you're actually talking to. So let's talk to Alex. You dial Alex, who picks up after only 2 rings. You ask if she has time to talk, and she tells you she's just hanging around in her PJs and is actually somewhat bored for once due to being caught up on her coursework. You try to figure out where to start with how you're feeling and are overcome with missing her face. You ask if she feels like grabbing some dinner, and you notice her barely contains surprise and delight on the other end of the line. You meet about half an hour later at an inexpensive diner not far from your apartment. While the food is not great, you're surprised by how much your mood seems to have elevated just being in her company. While at first you were extremely hesitant to talk about your job situation for fear of being burdensome or sounding like a whiner, you see her listening intensely to you with what even to you seems to be genuine concern. After winding down with a beer, you cautiously open up a little bit more about your feelings surrounding your job and how drained it leaves you feeling, how you feel like you're simply existing, selling days of your life for no real purpose. You surprise even yourself when you start talking about how frustrated and stymied you feel by your job, about how you used to feel passionately about things but feel like all your energy and capacity for creativity is getting leached out of how you each and every workday. You can't remember how long it's been since you've externalized this much raw emotion. The two of you spend several hours in that diner booth, long after your half-eaten food was cleared and the waitress stopped refilling your coffee cups. As you get up to leave, a sudden wave of self-consciousness washes over you, and you suddenly feel incredibly awkward. Then Alex stands up and grabs you tightly around your waist. You realize that short of boring her with your seemingly endless rants, she's simply happy and to have gotten a chance to spend real time with you. It's been, by all accounts, incredibly too long since you've allowed yourself to open up to them like this, and there's an almost palpable feeling of closeness you allow yourself to hold on to as you go to bed that night. You're still very depressed. Still the same thing with that. Not taking medication. That looks like we're going to be taking medication now because it's a pill bottle. It is an utterly nondescript Wednesday afternoon. The type of afternoon that would completely fade from memory unless one made an active effort to preserve it. As has become routine on Wednesdays, you are sitting on the couch in Dr. Melville's office. To your mild surprise, she begins this session by breaking her characteristic therapist silence and begins speaking up right away. I wanted to start by saying I think it's great that you decided to come see me. It's an incredibly important first step, she begins. I want to take some time today to talk to you about the possibility of supplementing or substituting your treatment with medication. The mention of medication makes your ears perk up and you feel your heart rate increasing. She continues. Many people find adding a pharmacological element to their treatment to be very helpful, and some even prefer to take drugs, completely eliminating their need to visit a therapist at all. Providing you rely on your support network and are still reaching out to people, I would prefer it if we kept talking. Should you choose to start medication so that I can monitor your progress and adjust as needed, but the choice is ultimately yours. I just wanted to run the option by you to gauge what your thoughts on the matter might be. Dr. Melville has just given you a lot to think about. What do you do? Accept the prescription as a way to augment your therapy. These are all open now. Okay, that's good. Tell her you'd like to try drugs instead of therapy. No, I want the therapy as well. Messing with your brain chemicals. This whole therapy thing has always overwhelmed you, and this final straw, you're done with both. Accept the prescription as a way to augment your therapy. Let's do that. You think the matter over long and hard. It's strange to think that recently none of this sort of thing was even on your radar. And here you are now being asked to make decisions about it. You're both skeptical and nervous, still getting over the initial shock of even just talking to a therapist. Still, over the years, you've done enough entry-level reading on the subject to know that if it doesn't help at all, at least it probably won't hurt, right? After an intense and protracted period of internal vacillation, you decide to bite the bullet and go for it. You tell Dr. Melville that you'd like to try medication in addition to your therapy, and you spend about half an hour going over what you'll be taking and what you should expect from it. Thinking back on your decision later, you're pretty sure you had your fist tightly clenched the whole way through. Alright, so taking medication for this will be good. So hopefully our guy starts to get better. I think this is going to be like the second to last one. I think the next one will be the end, hopefully. Because it is pretty long and I would like to continue on to other stuff, but still taking this very seriously. So with that, let's just move on to the next.